Of course, speaking about matters innovation, we now want to come to the studio and have a conversation about technology for emergency response. What does that look like, and why is this a game changer in the emergency response industry? To have this conversation with me is Jen Kariuki. She is the head of business development at Swift Response International Group. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Karibu sana. Let's just start there. Why did you decide to venture into the emergency response bit in terms of technology use?
Yes, a very good question. First and foremost, if you look at crime rate in Kenya, from 2020, it's up about 4.4%. If you look at rape cases, about 6 women will not report. And if you look at penetration of health services, that's again low, it's not accessible. And if you look at mobile penetration, it's gone up 74%. Hence the reason why we felt we need to leverage that gap in the market to be able to provide emergency response services and make them available across the country and in other markets.
Right. Before we go into the solution, what exactly was the gap that was missing? What was missing in emergency response for you to, respond to that gap?
For us, it's the rise in crime. If you look at the death rate, which can be prevented. Yeah, the last statistics were showing that last year alone, that grew to about 100,000, which could have been prevented with emergency response services. Look at COVID. COVID came to teach us that ambulance response services, it's not easy. Sometimes we think we have a medical cover and they'll be able to come to you at your point of need. Sometimes you don't have the money, hence the gap. We felt we needed to come in and leverage that gap to be able to make services more accessible to a bigger network.
So maybe we should now understand how exactly this works, because virtually every Kenyan has a phone. It might not be a smartphone, but a phone. So how does this product work? How do Kenyans access these services?
Yes, so as mentioned, it's a technology-based app which is available on the App Store, Google App Store, and the iOS. Once you download the service, you get access to medical and security. We offer two segments. Medical, and by medical I mean evacuation services, that is by road or air. And then security is anything that endangers you as a person. You could be in an Uber or a Bolt and you feel you're not secure, you can press the panic button. And because it's GPS powered, then help will come to you right to where you are, wherever you are across the country. So that's how the app works. In the back end, what we've done, we've partnered with over 400 privately vetted security and medical providers, and as I said, it's powered on GPS. Then you're able to get help as and when. And our promise to our consumers, we are able to get to you in under 15 minutes of pressing the panic button. And are there any charges to this? I would like to know about the affordability for somebody in Mashinani who is just looking to ensure that they have this kind of service. How affordable is it? It's quite affordable. For an annual fee of 3,000 shillings, in fact 2,999, you're able to enjoy the service annually, and you have access to unlimited number of emergency response panics that you can raise. So for 3,000 shillings annual subscription, you're able to have the service. We also realize that sometimes you could be in a family setting, and while at work you want to ensure that your home and your household is safe. So we also have a family package which is up to a maximum of 5 people at an annual fee of 15,000 shillings.
Right. So for people maybe who already have medical insurance, which has the emergency response, the emergency response capabilities in that particular insurance, why should they take up this product? Why should they look into having an app for emergency response?
One thing you realize, as you say, sometimes you have a medical cover, and sometimes emergency is sometimes not necessarily catered for in that. And even look at it when you're in need. Let's say, for example, you've gone and gotten an accident in Gilgil. how you don't even know. At that time, your adrenaline is very high. You don't even know where to access. Hence, with our app, you can be able to press and get help as and where you are. The other thing that sets us apart from anybody else in the competition, we are the only ones that offer medical and security, both of them at the same time. Yeah, so you are able to access ambulance services. You're able to access security services, all in one platform. Yeah.
For Kenyans, most Kenyans will go, say, to an accident scene and do not know what to do. Or they will be pulling someone who should really not be pulled from a wreckage. Most Kenyans lack that education of the first aid and all that. Is there anything that you're doing since you're in the industry to increase awareness of, you know, common people just understanding what to do in an emergency setting?
Yeah, we are doing a lot of consumer education because we understand that's a gap. Yeah, when you talk about emergency response services, people always assume because they have a medical cover or they have a security button in your home, they assume you're covered. Yeah, but look at it. You're a human being that's in various places at various times. Yeah, so we realize there's a lot of consumer education that we need to educate people, because for you to see the need for emergency response services, probably you've gone through an attack or a medical situation. So we are doing a lot of consumer education across digital, across platforms like this, just to be able to drive that awareness. Even in scene accident management, yeah, that's a service we offer. When you press the security button, we come to the scene and also offer accident clearance and just taking care of the scenario at that time and to get you to safety. Yeah.
And you say this service is available across the country?
Yes, it's available across the country and beyond borders. Uganda, Ghana, the UK and South Africa, where we started operations. Yeah.
And you said that there are 400 service providers?
Yes, we have over 400 privately vetted service providers, both security and medical.
Are there plans to increase these, and are these public and private institutions, or are they all private?
They are all private, and we want to keep it that way to ensure proper service delivery. And as the network grows, as users grow, then of course we're going to add more service providers, because that's what determines the more the users, then the more we have to increase our partnerships.
The more the users, so of course you need the numbers.
Absolutely.
Right. So what would be your message to Kenyans now that this product has been in the market for a year now? Yes. What is your message to Kenyans? My message to Kenyans: don't wait for a situation to get you to take the service. It's a service you need. Look at it. You could be in an accident. You could be in maandamano. I mean, political situation, whatever it is, or even in a public transport, and you're unsafe. So everybody needs emergency response services. And my request is for go out there, check our website, and be able to log on to the service. You will thank us one day. You will need the service at one point of time in your life. Okay, and before I let you go, are you looking to work with the emergency response, say, numbers that Kenyans know, the 999s, you know, and maybe children? There's a children safety number as well. I can't remember the number exactly. Are you planning to look into this? It's an app-based, so everything is on the app. Okay. Yeah. So you can call the police through the app? Yes. What would happen when you press the panic button? Our call center will call you, and the reason for the call center calling you is so that we can ascertain what's the level of emergency, so that we also know how to arrive. Because sometimes your attacker could be there, and also note that sometimes when your attacker is there, you might not be able to talk. So either way, whether you pick up your phone or not, we still send help to you. And then there's a chat option where you can be able to text and say, I'm not safe, 1, 2, 3, and then we're able to arrive accordingly. All right. Thank you very much for that information. Of course, quite important for the Kenyan market, and better understanding is always good for everybody. Absolutely. Thank you very much. That is Jane Kariuki. She is the head of business development at Swift Response International Group. We have talked about the use of technology to enhance emergency response in the country. Quite a much needed service.